Hi, my name is Sarah Whaling, and I'm a certified trauma informed life and relationship coach, specializing in helping clients to heal from narcissistic abuse, particularly as the scapegoat, but also heal trauma from many different sources. I also assist clients in healing their insecure attachment style, all by healing at the level that trauma originates, the subconscious mind, for true and lasting change. So, in this video, we are going to discuss the topic of healing from narcissistic abuse, particularly if you were in the scapegoat role. I put up a post under the community tab on my channel that is a quick overview of 4 key steps, and in this video, I'm going to go into each in more detail. So, jumping right in, key step number 1, understanding this specific type of abuse and then making connections to your core wounds, inner dialogue, and overcouplings. Understanding this type of abuse is important because it allows you to gain the context for understanding that how you were treated was not your fault. This is especially vital for those who were scapegoated by a narcissistic parent, since children always personalize. How is trauma formed? What exactly is trauma? Trauma is when the mind cannot make sense of something that is going on and it assigns painful meaning. So, for example, we can see how the scapegoated child might take note of the fact that they are always getting in trouble and assign the meaning that they must be defective, and then the core wound, I am defective, is formed. What is really going on is that the narcissistic parent has a core, internalized, deep sense of worthlessness and shame. Someone who has narcissistic personality disorder has a way of coping with this inner sense of worthlessness and shame by creating a false self and insisting the polar opposite of what they feel deep down to themselves and to others around them. Everyone around them must be doing this as well and must keep their false sense of self propped up at all times. Any puncturing of this fantasy can cause narcissistic rage, jealousy, and envy, and narcissistic injury. Whoever punctures this fantasy world that the narcissist has to insist on is generally on the receiving end of abusive behavior. This is one thing that illustrates the theme that people talk about when they say that the world has to revolve around the narcissist. This is the realistic way that this holds true. The narcissist needs somewhere to dump the feelings of worthlessness and shame, and that chosen dumping ground is the scapegoat child. Just like their unwritten rule that the world around them must prop up this fragile, artificial reality they insist on, they have to convince the scapegoat child somehow to get on board with the falsehood that they are the worthless one, the scapegoat child. This is a process called pathological projective identification, and it is a major injustice because it basically turns the child into the narcissist in relationship to self. The child starts to form core wounds after abusive treatment, such as I am defective or I am bad. So it is a double injustice because first they are forced to attach to someone who is hurting them, and second, they become a hurtful person in relationship to self without even knowing it, just having this become reality as they know it. And this is the brainwashing of narcissistic abuse. So, after understanding the inner workings of what psychologically went on and understanding what happened, it is important to pay attention to your mind and examine what core wounds or limiting beliefs this abuse formed so you can become you again or become maybe you for the first time and take control of your life. One way of noticing what is subconsciously going on repeat in our minds is paying attention to the thoughts we were just having if we happen to start feeling a little low, sad, depressed, or off. Another is purposeful, regular meditation. Whatever type of meditation you're doing, pay attention to the thoughts that make their appearance. Another thing to pay attention to is overcouplings. Overcouplings are positive or neutral things that we have assigned negative connotations to. For instance, maybe there is a distant memory of going somewhere on a regular basis with a narcissistic parent, and now, anytime you go back to that place, your nervous system reacts in a maladaptive way. Key step number 2, reprogramming the subconscious and eventually unconscious mind, now that you thoroughly know what is there. Narcissistic abuse, especially in childhood, affects where we automatically place ourselves in the world, in relation to others especially, and circumstances around us. It skews our inner compass and makes what is something that it is not. Trauma is stored in the subconscious mind. It is not enough to learn about narcissistic abuse. We are doing that with our conscious mind. Our conscious mind is the only part of our mind that will understand after learning about it. We have to target where trauma is stored in order to heal it. The brain has neuroplasticity. The same way that we are programmed with trauma, we can reprogram to live the healthy life we choose. We can choose with our conscious mind exactly what we deem acceptable to have in our subconscious and unconscious mind. You can look at it like weeds in a garden. Your mind is the garden, and you can choose to pluck out those core wounds. How do we do this? In short, trauma is formed through the impact of emotion. For instance, universe forbid we experience a car accident. That single instance of unsafety and the emotions that produces can form the core wound, I am unsafe. In the case of narcissistic abuse, it is many instances of experiences of relational unsafety over and over again over time. Our subconscious mind's language is imagery and emotion, and this is what we utilize to reprogram and truly heal. So, in short, we want to feel the opposite of the core wound intentionally over and over again to reprogram it. The more opposite emotion we can pack into a reprogramming session, the better. And how do we do this? We look for evidence and we utilize memory. For instance, in the case of the core wound, I am unsafe, you can ask yourself, how am I safe in my life? One answer is that you can envision yourself having the free will to set boundaries and the fact that that keeps you emotionally safe. Or you can take note of the fact that you can lock your doors at night, that you have a secure job and you have financial safety, that you have a roof over your head in inclement weather. Key step number 3, examining who is in your life and gaining distance from unsafe people. This might mean gaining entire or limiting distance with a parent or family member. It is also pivotal to take a look at the other people in your life aside from the narcissistic abuser that you had in mind. When we have not healed yet, this often shows up in multiple areas of our life because of our subconscious comfort zone. Gaining distance from unsafe people and then investing in safe relationships is a vital step in healing from narcissistic abuse. Reprogramming the wounds from this type of abuse can be made difficult or impossible, especially at the beginning of your healing journey, if you are still faced with the harmful treatment of narcissistic abuse, and it can sabotage your efforts. So, if this is actively going on, even if you cannot gain physical distance, it is important to gain mental and emotional distance and protect your recovery. Key step number 4. Rewiring your nervous system is one of the most important steps to healing after narcissistic abuse. This is one thing to concentrate on if you have a fearful avoidant attachment style as a result of anything you've gone through, and most likely, if you went through scapegoating as a child and are not yet healed, you have a fearful avoidant attachment style. Narcissistic abuse makes being in sympathetic nervous system mode your subconscious comfort zone. The body is meant to be in parasympathetic nervous system mode, which is referred to as rest and digest mode the majority of the time. After trauma, the nervous system must be healed, so this becomes the norm. This can be done in a variety of ways. I like to think of reprogramming the nervous system in that trauma conditioned the body to be in an unhealthy state, and reprogramming the nervous system conditions the body to be in a healthy state. Trauma told the body to get into fight or flight, and that became the unconscious program. Trauma is a distressing, painful, uncomfortable experience, and the way we reprogram our nervous system is very regular, positive, comfortable, enjoyable experiences that engage the body on a regular basis so that this returns the body to the state it was originally in when we came into this world and what the body is meant to be in. Dancing, meditation, long walks, ASMR, turning every device off in the house and setting an alarm, lying there and just being for that entire period of time. And of course, core wound reprogramming routines are all different things that I recommend. Well, if you found this video helpful, please hit that thumbs up button and like it. Share it with somebody if you think they might need it. And if you're new here and don't want to miss anything, I invite you to subscribe. Make sure to hit that little bell notification. I post free content on healing from narcissistic abuse, among many other things. And if you're interested in one-on-one coaching, my website has my contact form. I will also have some courses on this subject, among many others, coming out as well. Thank you for being here, and thank you for your continued engagement.